In Primal Carnage Evolution, there's a class of dinosaur that majority of players enjoy more than any other, that class being the Tyrants. And since the release of Primal Carnage Evolution brought a bunch of new players to the game, I thought this would be the perfect time to make a video on a complete guide to the Tyrants. But before I go into detail on each class, there are a few things that I need to say in general about the Tyrants. These are just a few tips that will help you play better. The first tip is to not rush into a huge group of humans by yourself. The reason for this is because without your dino teammates, you are a huge target to everyone else around you. Basically meaning that you will easily die. The key to playing Tyrant is knowing when to go in and go out. Take this clip for example. The reason why I did not rush up this hill was because I knew that the entire human team was up there, and if I was in a life-death situation, which I probably would have been, I would have nowhere to go. You can see that some humans like to straggle off from the rest of them, which means you can pick them off easily. I wasn't able to get into the action until later when most of my team killed everyone else. But this clip still shows that Tyrant takes a lot of patience because you need to know the exact times when to rush in and when to not rush in. Another thing you need to be aware of as a Tyrant is the Trapper's net gun. It can disable all Tyrants from biting. But if you end up having your roar ready to use, then you can actually use it to break free from the net. It sounds like a useful feature, but it really isn't, because the second you activate your roar, you still can't even use your bite right away. But at the end of the day, it can still save you a second or two. Another tip is to use your brace. The reason why you should use your brace is because it greatly reduces damage. Just know that you cannot eat a human while bracing, and you can also not hold your brace forever because it depletes stamina. But even after all of that, bracing is still super overpowered and has saved me many times. Another tip for Tyrants is to use your secondary attack. Back in Primal Carnage Extinction, you were never able to use your secondary attack while having a human in your mouth, but they recently changed that in Evolution, now making secondary attacks a lot better. Just know that your secondary attacks do take stamina, so you need to keep an eye on that. There's 3 ways you can get a kill while being a Tyrant. The first one is your bite attack. It's an insta-kill attack that will grab any human and will slowly give you health back on each kill, which is also very useful in times when you're around a lot of humans. Your second option is by trampling humans. It's pretty simple. You just walk over humans and you can get a kill. And your last option is your secondary attack, which is unique to which class of Tyrant you are playing. So finally, with all of that out of the way, we can finally look at our first Tyrant class, the T-Rex. With 3200 health, the T-Rex has the second most amount of health out of the 3 Tyrants. It has a bigger mouth than the other 2 Tyrants, meaning it's easier to grab humans with the T-Rex than the other 2. It also has a faster eating time than the other 2 due to this. But because it has a bigger mouth, this also makes it easier for the Trapper to net the T-Rex. The T-Rex also has armor on its tail and a critical spot near its eye. This is also the case for the Acro. Stamina-wise, the T-Rex is faster than the Spino, yet slower than the Acro. Once again, in between the Tyrants. The T-Rex's secondary attack is a tail swipe. Out of the 3 Tyrants, I definitely think that the T-Rex has the worst secondary attack out there. It's not bad, it's just that the Spino's claw swipe and Acro stomp is way more useful in way more situations. But if you manage to get a hit with the tail swipe, it can do 125 damage. Overall, I think the Rex is a really good Tyrant. It's right in between the Spino and Acro for health and stamina. And if you're new to the game, the Rex is definitely the best new player-friendly option. Now with the Rex out of the way, we can move on to the second Tyrant class, the Spino. The Spino has a smaller mouth than the Rex, yet a bigger mouth than the Acro, meaning it's right in between the Acro and Rex for eating time. Since you have a smaller mouth, it makes it harder to grab humans and for trappers to net you. Just like the Rex and Acro, the Spino has armor on its tail and a critical spot near its eye. It also has armor on its sail too. The Spino also has 3500 health, which is the most out of any dinosaur in the game. A tip that I recommend for Spino is when running into a group of humans, you should spam your secondary attack. The reason for this is because it can do 125 damage per hit, as well as hitting a ton of humans at once, which means it's going to be pretty easy taking down a lot of people. While the Spino might have the most health out of all the Tyrant classes, it is the slowest. Sprinting with Spino, as well as spamming your secondary attack, can quickly drain your stamina, so you always need to keep watch on it. Overall, I think the Spino is really good, and it's also really good at taking out large groups of humans. Now on to the final Tyrant class, which is the Acro. The Acro has a smaller mouth than the Spino and the Rex, which means it's hardest to grab humans with the Acro. This also greatly adds up to the eating time that the Acro has, which is a lot longer than the Rex's. The Acro is the fastest, but also the weakest Tyrant. It has 3000 HP. Out of all the secondary attacks that the Tyrants have, the Acro by far has the best one. The reason why the Acro's stomp ability is so good is because of his high splash damage. One stomp from the Acro into a crowd of humans guarantees a kill every single time, no doubt. Just like the Rex, it has armored and critical areas in the same spots. Overall, I definitely think that the Acro is the hardest Tyrant to play out of the three, but it is still super fun to get good at and watch it dominate. So with that, that is the ultimate Tyrant guide for Primal Carnage Evolution. If you're new to the game and want to try out Tyrant, it can definitely be a lot of fun, but also very frustrating. Overall, I think you should try the class that you want to play and just have fun. If you still could use some tips for Tyrant, feel free to comment down below and I'd be happy to answer. And one more thing, this video was greatly inspired by the last Mikester's Tyrant guide, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you do, and I also got a lot of the information from his video. So huge shout out to him. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video, and I really hope it helped you, and I will see you in the next one.